My name is Brian Stupek. I'm a 31-year-old substitute teacher, author, and linguist, and in 1 month I'm set to solo walk the continent of Africa. Walking Africa has been something that I've been planning to do for a few years now, and for various reasons I haven't been able to get around to it, but now everything seems to be prepared. I decided to go by myself so I don't have to rely on anyone, but the idea of being in nature with people, experiencing things that I'm not going to be able to do without experiencing a trip like this has always excited me. But also, I want to spread awareness for mental health, because walking has always helped me with my mental health. I'm bipolar, so before I was diagnosed, I would walk long stretches of time when I was manic to calm myself down. It would bring me down. And I would walk long stretches when I was depressed to bring me up. It was my mood stabilizer before I could take any medication or knew anything was wrong. So walking has always held kind of like a dear place in my heart as a way that I could manage my emotions. Probably the happiest time in my life came from when I was living in Africa a few years ago, so much so I've been back 5 or 6 times. So I kind of wanted to merge those two and tell my story. But when I was there this last time, I realized something interesting in terms of a lot of Africans in the places that I live, Tanzania, Kenya, Egypt, they struggle from the same stuff that we do in terms of mental health. They have depression, they have bipolar disorder, they have paranoid schizophrenia, they have all these different types of mental health obstacles. But in a lot of these societies and cultures, they don't talk about them. They're not supposed to, they don't acknowledge that they're real. And it makes it harder for friends of mine that have had very legitimate depression that aren't able to turn or talk to anybody. So on this trip, I'm going to be doing a YouTube channel, a podcast as I go, where I talk to people every day. I'm going to walk 8 hours for my own mental health, and then I'm going to get to a town, city, village, anywhere there's people, and I'm going to say, how are you? Tell me about what you're going through right now, and tell me about how we can, talk about this. And then hope that at the end of the night they will host me and I'll get to share a cultural experience. And if no one will host me, I have a tent sponsored here by Next Adventure. The trip itself is going to start at Cape Town, South Africa, and it's going to end in Cairo, Egypt at the pyramids. That's going to be the start and the finish. I'm going to pass through Namibia and Botswana to start before going into Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Kenya, up to Ethiopia, Sudan, and then finally Egypt. The trip itself, I could probably do it in about a year. I'm banking on making it last a year and a half so I can have enough time to talk to these people and maybe stay an extra day here or there if I see a story or something that needs to be talked about a little bit more, or I just have a connection. I think when I first started the journey, it was trying to get from point A to point B as fast as possible, and it was more of a physical challenge. That's no longer what I see this as. I see this as sort of a cultural experience to share with people along the way. Next Adventure is the first company of its quality to show me the kind of interest in partnering with me on this trip, and that is something I'll never forget and always appreciate. So I do consider Next Adventure a part of this journey as much as I am, because they were with me from the start. Because of Next Adventure, they were able to support me with some very important gear for the trip: a tent, a sleeping pad, sleeping bag, a backpack, and I'll have a future video where I unpack everything that they sponsored me for, and I break down what it is and what I'll use it for and where you can get it. If you wish to follow along, I have numerous options. All of my links will be on my website, which is just my name, brianstupek.com, BrianStupek.com. And my Instagram is Brian Stupek. My YouTube is The Bipolar Show, where I'm Brian and I'm bipolar, so it's The Bipolar Show. And that's the same as my TikTok handle as well. And Next Adventure will be posting a lot of the stuff that I do along the way, so if you give them a follow as well, you can follow along to my journey that way too.